Hello, YouTube. It's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking Married at First Sight, season 18, episode 11. She said he fled. So we're just gonna get on into it. So, not fully much like went down in this particular episode, so that's why I'm gonna kind of like combine last week's episode since I wasn't able to do it into this week. So last week, everybody celebrated their 1 month anniversaries. Basically, we got another month to go before decision day, and some are doing good and some are not. Let's start with the good. We're gonna start with Thomas and Camille. They're doing really well. They're they're the power couple this season. They're my only hope for the season, basically. In this episode, they met up with the experts. Camille did say she's going to push back just a tiny bit, but she is claiming that Thomas is starting to get a little bit more swag. I mean, it's whatever, but by far they are the best couple right now in this whole season. So we didn't see much of them in this episode, just their little short meeting with the experts to see where they're at and stuff. For the most part, everything's fine with them. So we'll move on from them. Next couple I want to talk that's doing okay at best is Carla and Juan. Now, Carla and Juan, last week, Carla told Juan that she quit her job. And he was a little taken back on that. He was like, it's one thing to want to be successful, but to be stupid, I don't know. I hope she has a plan now. She has a plan and she's got clients and stuff, but I'm still trying to figure out why she fully quit her job, but, they'll look past it. But in this episode, they went on, Carla and Juan had like a little dinner date, and they basically are trying to rebuild the business. And so she brought out like a notebook to dinner and just wanted to hear his ideas on what she can do to better her business, get more clientele, basically. And she was listening to him, and they were liking what she was hearing. Juan said that you're building an empire, basically. And Carla was like, I really enjoy my time being here with you and stuff. This is other than the wedding, I think the best that they ever had, the best moment that they had so far. My only thing with them is just that, I still don't know why. I don't think he's fully 100% into her, and I still don't understand why, because they're both, like I said before, they're both good looking people. So they're both attractive people. So if he's not finding her attractive, then I don't know. So yeah. So that was that. The next couple I want to talk is Madison and Alan. So Madison and Alan, Madison's not really attracted to Alan. And he's trying. He's trying. Last week, he asked her, as they went on this little road course for their 1 month anniversary date. He asked her do you see yourself is there a way that you see this forever, basically? And he's trying to be vulnerable, and she's just like, well, forever is a long time. And yeah, but you could have answered his question. So I don't know. Madison is she is improving a little, just a tiny bit from the beginning of the season, where she was going out and not coming back until the next morning and stuff. But the thing is, I guess they drank one night. They drank together, and I guess Alan had left and drove, I guess he was a little drunk and was driving drunk, and he drove 15 miles out of where he was supposed to go or something. So that caused them to have a big argument, and everything. And he was very nonchalant about it and everything, and saying it's nothing and everything. And Madison was like, well, I've had friends who've had DUIs that and that basically ruined their life. And she was scared that was going to happen to Alan, which and she has a rightly concern. Common sense, don't drink and drive. Hello, common sense there. So, and I'm kind of surprised that Alan was like that because he seems like this like goody tushies type guy or whatever. So when they met with the experts, they you know like they're only like kissing on the cheek basically. Madison's only kissing him on the cheek, and Alan told the experts. They talked to Dr. Pep. I think they talked to Dr. Pepper. I believe, yeah. And he said like she's very affectionate like to the other group members, especially to David. Like every time we get into the group and David, and she always gives him a big hug and everything. And I just get like the short end of the stick. So when does it come apart when like I'm like the priority basically and everything, and she shows that to me and stuff. And he even asked her like, is there anything you feel attracted to me about? And she's like, yeah. I mean, and he's like what? She's like, I don't know. That's a weird question. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. That's your husband. I know you guys are married at first sight and picked by matchmakers, but that's still your husband. There's got to be something attractive. Like, because you're still in it a month in. This is the first season since the Houston season where we still got all 5 couples in at this point. Usually one couple is already dipped by now. So, like, there's got to be something that she's attracted to. And I don't know. And they said on the after show, like, if she was attracted to him, like all these like little gestures and stuff that he does that annoys her wouldn't annoy her. Like, she'll probably be laughing and like giggling on. So I don't know. Some of these people just like, they really need to commit to the process. Really, really commit to the process, and they're not. None of these not a lot of these people are not committing hardcore to the process. We're not saying you have to stay married to the person at the end of the decision, but you signed up for this. And you have to, I understand it's a short time frame, but you're in a legally binding marriage, and once you're married, you're trying to be married forever. You're not trying to be married for just 2 months, played around for 2 months, and then get divorced. Granted, like I said, the situation's a little complex, like being married at first sight. I think this experiment, when I first heard about this show, I was just like, married at first sight, really? You heard of love at first sight, but not married at first sight? That's a little risky. But, obviously there's been more couples that have been disappointed, have not stayed together, but there's a handful of couples that are still together to this day and have children because of this experiment. So it does work. The numbers are pretty low, but it does work. They ain't looking at the negatives, they're looking at the positives. So, you got the Nicole and Chris's, the Armani and Woody's, the Jamie and the Otis's, and a few others, in season one, Jamie and Otis, like that right there. Like, it worked on season 1. So, and we're in season 18 now. I started watching Married at First Sight in season 13 when they were in Houston. I went back and rewatched like the season 11 in New Orleans and some of the Atlanta season in 12. And then I've been a fan since the Houston season, from Boston to San Diego to Nashville to Denver, now here to Chicago. So, but yeah, I do think like Madison needs to, and Alan, they both need to work. Like, Alan can, like, he's starting to listen, but don't be so freaking nonchalant about like some serious things. Like, come on, that's it. This is the first time I got frustrated with Alan. So moving on, now we're moving on to the 2 main couples that we need to really discuss. The next couple I want to talk is, we're going to go with Michelle and David. Now, they've been a headache all season. David living with his parents, him talking over Michelle just complaining about everything. They had their anniversary dinner and, meet up or whatever, and David didn't dress properly for their date. and everything. She's like, "You're really wearing that and everything." He was like, "Well, I just got off work. I didn't have time to run home and change and stuff." I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's a whatever. It depends on the people with that one. And then they get into an argument about that. Just like just seems like he can never, nothing's ever really good enough. On the after show, she said that they did, after their little fight at the restaurant, they did go to a bar and have drinks and had a good time. So she said there's a lot of pressure on camera than there is off camera. So in this episode, they met with the experts, and like they're working, they're trying, and like she said that he's been like leaving her like flowers and gifts or whatever, like on his way to work or something like that, and it's like she's starting to like look at it from a different perspective. Now, when Michelle talked to the experts, she said, the main thing, like with how she's so uptight about this, him living in his parents' basement thing, is because like Michelle grew up poor, apparently. She said that she grew up poor. They didn't have much. She said she felt didn't embarrassed about being poor, but there were some embarrassing moments, like certain with the lunch table and stuff and everything. And she just, when she sees David, she just feels like she is going back to the place that where she doesn't want to be. Now, I understand how that makes her feel, but anybody with someone who knows the struggle, and she should know the struggle since she's lived through it, you would think she would be a little bit more understanding. I understand she doesn't want to go back. Nobody wants to go back to that life. Nobody. But and I understand that she worked hard, but fully understanding the struggle, and neither one of them are like asking each other questions about that. And that's another thing they argued about, just like not asking like questions, like if he ended off. And then like one of the fights that they had last week was that every time that David asks her questions or answers something, and she's like, okay, and he doesn't like that. I agree with David on that one, because that does get annoying when somebody does that. Okay, and he's like, you just doing okay and all that, So like, why bother? And yeah, I agree with him on that, because that is annoying. That is annoying. So we shall see. They're gradually making progress and stuff, but judging by the previews of next week, I think everything's about to really blow over. So we shall see. So that was Michelle and David. And the last couple we gotta talk, here we go, is MM and EKG. What in the whole world is going on with MM and EKG? All right, let's take it back to a few weeks ago. When they had their housewarming party, EKG called MM aggressive. Word of advice, never call a black woman aggressive. Just saying, don't call a black woman aggressive. Whether if it's true or not, don't call a black woman aggressive. So after that, they just like, things have just gone downhill. When they celebrated their month anniversary last week, they reread their vows and everything, and she asked him a question, and he, like, I don't know, he got really defensive, like, because like he feels like she's being disrespectful, doesn't respect him and everything, and like not like giving him the answers that she wants and stuff and everything. So he's like getting really defensive and stuff and everything, and like he's not feeling like she respects his boundaries or anything. I guess he really doesn't want to be like intimate and all that affectionate right now, since they're still kind of strangers to each other. And so like, and she wants that. Now, it's that's, I see his point with that, but at the same time, same thing. You're married. You're married. And like he told in this episode, he told Pastor Cal that like like she wants to move in with me like and everything already, and talk about already moving in. Like who you tell like you just meant that you want to move in, and Pastor Cal told him like, yes, that's what we want. That's what we want. Yes, I know the situation is not ideal, but like that's what, at the end of the day, that's what we want. You guys want to do that. You're a married couple now, and everything. Now, this just also takes me back to last week. They're still fighting about that and everything. All the couples last week had an anniversary dinner, and EKG came by himself. Everybody else was there, and EKG came by himself, and everybody's just like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" Like, and he came in like really like ready to fight, like aggressive, like he was just came in and just flat up, my wife makes me feel like crap and everything. And then like people were starting to ask him, he didn't want to answer, like, no, guys, don't stop, and don't I don't want to talk about it here at the table and everything. I came here for you guys and everything. And Michelle called him out. She was like, well, why did you come up, period? And he was like, I could leave if you want me to. And I'm like, no, don't get all aggressive like that and hostile like that, man, and everything. So apparently EKG left, and he basically moved out and left for a couple of days actually. And like has been texting and calling him and like blowing him up and everything. And at the dinner table, it all came to a head. She was like, I've been texting, I've been calling you, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, you haven't been texting or calling or nothing. Don't even do that. And then here's the famous line that she said, clown, you want to see a clown? I'll give you a circus. And everything. And I thought that was funny. And the girls had to take her to the bathroom to chill out for a little bit. And he basically left the dinner early. And so like this episode, like like me and with Pastor Kyle, like, and he was like, what is it about that like you don't like? He was like, I don't like her attitude, and everything. And I guess on the after party, EKG said that they were at a football game once. We didn't see this. They were at a football game, and she was like really nice to people at the football game. And then like, I guess like on the way back, like there was a woman walking down the street, and she almost ran her over. And I guess was screaming, "BITCH, get out the way," and everything. And he didn't like that, but he didn't communicate with her. And Keisha Knight Pulliam asked him, like, why didn't you tell her, basically, about that? And he was like, you're right, I should have. So yeah, I don't know what's gotten into him. He has an attitude problem. Like, I'm not saying is perfect, but he's really got an attitude problem that he needs to check himself with that. Because everybody's like frustrated with the words and the tone of how he's like calling him and that and everything. And I don't know, it is pretty disturbing to see. I hope they can pick it up together. I guess judging by the previews, I guess he is going to move back in with but he feels like she makes him feel less than. And she said that, said that that's not how she wants to make him or anybody feel. So, that's just that. So, anyway, guys, that was basically it for this episode. Before I sign off, we got some breaking news. Yesterday, and I've been saying I'm going to do this like on a separate video than a regular recap, but like I'm going to, but I never do. So, most of my channel has been covering 90 Day Fiancé, and I do Married at First Sight and stuff. And so I always get excited when they announce the new season of one of the spin-offs of 90 Day Fiancé. And yesterday they announced the trailer for season 11 of the original 90 Day Fiancé that's coming back. And it's time to do the couples rundown of this season 11 of the original 90 Day Fiancé. We got 3 returning couples. three returning couples. Two of them were on Love in Paradise, and one of them was just previously on The Other Way. I'll get to those three couples anyway, and I'm sure you know who the Other Way couple that's coming to 90 Day Fiancé is, as I predicted. But let's do the new couples first. The first couple we have Stevie from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and Maldi from Iran. Stevie and Maldi's love story began when Stevie taught online English classes to Maldi, who was her student. Oh. Ooh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. After a whirlwind transcontinental romance, transcontinental romance, and only 1 week spent together in person, Stevie is bringing Maldi to the States to marry her. However, due to the complicated political climate, Maldi's arrival in Mississippi may mean he could jeopardize his chances to return to Iran. From the outset of his 90-day journey, Maldi is overwhelmed by homesickness, leaving Stevie worried about their future. Along the way, Maldi uncovers unsettling truths about Stevie, causing him to question his decision. Meanwhile, the couple struggles to bridge deep cultural divides, and Maldi faces the heart-wrenching dilemma of whether he can truly build a future in the U.S. if his heart is still tethered to his homeland. Okay. So, yeah, that was Stevie and Maldi. Next couple is Mark and Mina. Mark is from West Ossipee, New Hampshire, and Mina is from Paris, France. Okay, we got France. Okay. Mark, a 59-year-old divorced pilot living in Tranquil aviation community in rural New Hampshire, meets Mina, a glamorous 34-year-old Parisian model, and is instantly captivated. After a love affair and a 2-year-old daughter together, Mina is finally moving to the United States. However, her new life is far from easy. She must temporarily leave behind Clayton, her 9-year-old son, until his passport is processed in Paris, and the separation weighs heavily on her. Adding to her struggles, Mark's daughter from his first marriage, Jordan, questions Mina's intentions. Isolated in rural New Hampshire and without her son or strong bond with Mark's family, Mina begins to question whether she should stay in America or return to France. Okay. The next couple, we have our first throuple. Now, I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this one, and this is going to be this might be a little bit much, so brace yourself. We got Matt and Amani from San Diego, and Ani from Mexico. On the surface, Amani and Matt appear to have the perfect life, both successful and strikingly attractive. They have been married for 10 years and are raising 2 daughters in a beautiful home in San Diego. However, beneath the surface, the couple is exploring ways to navigate in some different nuances in their marriage. Amani, who is bisexual, together with Matt, has explored being in a polyamorous relationships to keep their marriage in a balance. Now, Amani and Matt have fallen in love with Ani, a single mother and exotic dancer from Tijuana, Mexico. The threesome has been dating for over a year, and Matt, Amani, and Ani are looking to make their romance more permanent. To do so, however, that means Matt and Amani must divorce to move forward with the K-1 visa, allowing one of them to marry Ani and finally bringing her to the U.S. First, they will travel to Mexico to spend more time with Ani's family and friends and confirm they are making the right decision in their relationship journey. That's disgusting. I'm sorry, that's disgusting. That's really disgusting. It's one thing to have a third, but you're going to divorce yourself for 10 years for a third person. That's ridiculous. That's disgusting. So, moving on. Next couple is Gregory from Islip, New Jersey. Islip Terrace, New York, I mean, and Joan from Uganda. Greg, a Long Island native, fell in love with Joan during a vacation in Uganda. Now he's bringing her to the U.S. to start a life together. Joan, a highly educated NGO director, is deeply committed to her career and values stability and security, while Greg still lives with his overbearing mom and doesn't have a stable job. Oh, here we go. Oh, joy. Once in America and living under Greg's mom's roof, Joan begins to feel the strain of their relationship and realize she needs more from the man she loves. Joan gives Greg an ultimatum: get a steady job or she's headed back home. Greg needs to step up and meet Joan's expectations or risk losing the future they dreamed of. Duh. so, so yeah. Now these last three couples are returning couples. From season 5 and 6 of The Other Way, returning Sarper and Shekinah, as I predicted. Remember at the last tell-all, Sarper was here in America, and I predicted that he would be on season 11 of 90 Day Fiancé, and I was right. Now, in the U.S., Sarper must adapt to his new environment. I'm not going to read their bio. Everyone knows their bio. Moving on. Now, Sarper and Shekinah are back for another season. The next returning couple from the last season of Love in Paradise, we got Sean and Aaliyah. Now, if y'all remember, I only covered 2 episodes of the last season of Love in Paradise because it was a little bit much. And Sean and Aaliyah are embarking on the next chapter of their life together in America. However, their journey is far from easy. Besides the eyebrow-raising 30-year age gap between them, Sean has kept much of his relationship with Aaliyah a secret from his friends and family. How? They were just on TV last year. They didn't see that? Will he be ready to introduce his love into his life? The more difficult hurdle is Sean's internal struggle. He finds that Aaliyah, who is a trans woman, is evolving into a very different person than the one that he first fell in love with as she continues to transition and explore surgical options. Now Sean is faced with the most important question of all. Can he say I do to someone whose identity is changing before his eyes? We'll see. And the last couple from Love in Paradise Season 3 is Jessica and Juan. Now, remember Jessica and Juan, they went on a cruise ship, and she went to Colombia to be with him, brought the kids and everything. The kids were bad. They're back now, living together in America. This season, Juan moves from Colombia to join his fiancée Jessica and their baby son. Yeah, that's right. He got her pregnant on that trip, and they had the baby. And soon-to-be stepsons in a sleepy town in Wyoming. The couple faced many challenges, from Juan's loyalty to Jessica to Jessica's doubts about Juan's ability to adapt to a major role shift. From a carefree cruise ship bartender to full-time dad. With tensions rising and a new family dynamic to navigate, the couple faces a pivotal moment in their love story. So, yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's the couples for season 11 of 90 Day Fiancé. But, to the original video, it's Married at First Sight. And we'll see how the previews, judging by the previews of next week, I think, Michelle's going to call out David for an inappropriate text message. MM and EKG are going to try to get something going. And and I'm just pulling for Thomas and Camille. So anyway, guys, I just ended my review. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. As I keep saying all the time, we are growing. Be sure to like, comment, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys back here on Sunday to recap 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days tell all part 2. So until then, y'all stay safe and have a good one. Bye, y'all.